It was probably after the argument with Diddy, when Styles threw the chair at Puff. I mean, I ain't sure, but that was probably the last straw for that. But prior to that, it was conversations amongst the group and things of that nature. But after that little incident happened, I think that's when we decided to part ways.
The LOX and all the niggas, Puff didn't put it to your head. You had a lawyer. So if you signed that shit and it got no Vaseline, that's on you. Don't come back to me and say you should have changed this up for us. Why? Why should I have done that for you? Who the f are you that I should have did that for? Clive Davis ain't do it for me, so why should I do it for you? Because I'm a black man, because we all coming up. That's what y'all missing.
It's no secret that Sean, Diddy Combs, and Bad Boy Records have been surrounded by years of debate and criticism from various artists. But did you know that the LOX were among the first major groups to publicly challenge their situation with the label and push hard for their release from their contract? After finding early success with their debut album on Bad Boy, the LOX, Styles P, Sheek, Louch, and Jadakiss reportedly began feeling that the arrangement was not working in their favor. Unlike many artists who stayed quiet and tried to move on, the LOX made their frustrations impossible to ignore. Their dispute with the label became one of the most talked about conflicts in hip-hop at the time, with heated public comments, tense confrontations, and plenty of headlines.
Y'all thinking there's some type of empathy or some type of sympathy there for your condition. Your condition is your condition. Puff dangled that publishing deal in front of me, and I was able to say no, simply not because he was my friend, because financially I didn't need it. So what we're saying is, most of them signed them deals because they needed the money.
Stories from that era describe just how far the situation escalated as both sides found themselves locked in a very public battle over the group's future. The LOX built a reputation for being fearless, outspoken, and unwilling to back down from what they believed in.
Down with Bad Boy, so we let y'all go. Y'all won't be down with us, we let y'all go, we keep it moving. But to get on there and portray like somebody gotta go and steal and rob and be shysting y'all, that ain't really correct, you know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm at my office right now, I'm always accessible. Y'all ain't gotta get on the radio and do certain tactics and do certain things to ever holler at me. Jadakiss, last time I saw you, I told you, let's get together, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm accessible. I said, if anything don't come, if there's somebody standing in the way for you expressing yourself, if any of y'all expressing yourself, y'all can come get at me directly.
Whether people agreed with their approach or not, one thing was clear. They were determined to fight for more control over their career and their music. If you want to hear how this dramatic standoff unfolded and why it became such a legendary chapter in rap history, keep watching because there's a lot to unpack here. The legendary Yonkers trio, the LOX, have been making noise in hip-hop for decades, and they've never been known for putting on an act. With their gritty style, sharp lyrics, and straight-to-the-point attitude, Jadakiss, Styles P, and Sheek Louch became a perfect example of classic East Coast rap. When they released their second album, We Are the Streets, the title said everything about their confidence and identity. Few people were willing to question that statement because the LOX had already earned respect through their music and reputation. Some newer fans who discovered the LOX through their work with DMX and the Rough Riders movement may not know much about their earlier Bad Boy chapter.
And we just felt something wasn't right within that contract. And we knew going against them at the time would be a very big risk because it could either go wrong or wrong.
Yeah, expensive.
Yeah, very expensive or very time consuming or both, and then your career is finished. So we knew that we was taking a chance, and with the Lord with us, we was able to come to an agreement.
Before joining forces with DMX and becoming part of that powerful era, the LOX were signed to the label led by Sean Diddy Combs, who was widely known at the time as Puff Daddy. To understand how everything unfolded, you have to go back to the very beginning. The LOX first started building a buzz in their local scene with a gritty demo tape produced by Jaz-O, and it didn't take long for people to start paying attention. Their raw style, sharp lyrics, and street credibility helped them stand out from the crowd, and soon major record labels were showing serious interest. According to Sheek Louch, one of the labels that came calling was Death Row Records, which was one of the biggest forces in hip-hop at the time. The label was led by Suge Knight, and the story goes that Suge was so impressed by the LOX that he personally reached out and tried to convince them to sign with Death Row. But the timing was complicated. With tensions between the East Coast and West Coast rap scenes making headlines during that era, the LOX reportedly felt more comfortable staying connected to their roots. Instead of heading west, they chose a different path and decided to sign with Bad Boy Records. What makes the story even more interesting is that Mary J. Blige played a major role in helping make that connection happen. Back in a 1998 interview, Sheek explained, "Mary was like the #1 fan for us. She was loving our music before anybody, and she just brought us to Puff. Puff was looking for a rap group at the time." From there, things moved quickly. Sheek added, "It was instant. It just clicked like that. It was chemistry." The group ended up signing a multi-album deal with Bad Boy, and at the time, it felt like a huge opportunity.
It was reported that you had to pay like $3 million to get out of your contracts.
Not sure what the dollar is to the penny, but it's definitely in the scope. Jimmy Iovine and Rough Riders, and they definitely paid something nice.
Who plays a game and don't know the rules? If you didn't know how to play poker, I said, fam, pull out $2,000 real quick. Let me show you how to play poker. You gonna play? No. Most likely you're not gonna play. That's what they did. They pulled out their money, said, I'm gonna play a game I don't know. I lost the money. Now, can you give me back my money, please?
Jadakiss later told Revolt, "It was a no-brainer for us. Looking at the success Bad Boy was having with major artists like Biggie and others, it's easy to see why the LOX believed they had landed in the perfect situation." Within weeks of signing their deal, the LOX found themselves experiencing a lifestyle that felt completely different from anything they had known before. The group has often described the Bad Boy era as a time filled with major events, non-stop excitement, and access to some of the biggest names in entertainment. During a 2020 interview with Revolt, the group reflected on some of their favorite memories from those years. Jadakiss recalled, "Some of the best parties you could ever go to. Party like 1999. It was 1998. It was the same kind of parties the Beatles had." His comments painted a picture of an atmosphere filled with energy, celebrity appearances, and constant celebration.
I ain't your enemy.
Dog, we just
You need to bang like that on
dog,
that's coming
yo,
at you. I ain't your enemy.
Just yesterday we got a note from your office saying you don't have no idea of none of this or nothing.
Just yesterday, your lawyer told us that.
I see you at the show backstage. You said find out what it was.
But don't sit here and portray like Puff took nothing from y'all.
What is it? What is it? What do you call it?
Styles P shared a similar perspective, saying, "Beautiful people, beautiful clothes, a lot of money, a lot of ambiance, a lot of feng shui, a lot of success, a lot of abundance, bottles and glitz." Meanwhile, Sheek Louch summed it up by explaining, "With Diddy, it felt like he was always celebrating something." Together, their stories highlight just how flashy and fast-paced life around Bad Boy Records seemed during that period. But despite all the glamour, not everything went exactly as the group expected. One of the first major changes came when they were told they needed a new name. At the time, the group was known as the Warlocks, but that was about to change. Looking back years later in an interview with Hip Hop DX, Jadakiss suggested that their respect for Diddy and their limited experience in the music business influenced how they responded to the idea. He recalled, "Just as we were about to sign, or maybe the week before we signed, he said, 'Y'all the LOX, y'all figure it out, but no more Warlocks.'" Jadakiss went on to explain, "He was like MJ in his prime, so everything he said was golden. We didn't know a lot about marketing, and he said Warlocks wasn't marketable."
Sleep good at night, because I ain't never seen none of y'all. And if y'all ever want
Dog, you had a whole bunch of artists
Puffy.
That's it.
Dog, you had a bunch of artists whose careers never went right with you, dog. Be for real, dog. Look at the list.
We don't want to be violent.
You the artist that did best for yourself. Look at your list, dog.
At the time, the group trusted the advice and moved forward with the new identity. Once the deal was finalized, Bad Boy wasted no time putting the LOX in front of a larger audience. The group quickly appeared on a series of high-profile collaborations and guest features, a strategy designed to boost their visibility, grow their fan base, and establish them as rising stars in hip-hop. From appearances on popular DJ Clue mixtapes to major guest spots on tracks like Mace's 24 Hours to Live and Mariah Carey's Honey remix, the LOX were everywhere during their Bad Boy years.
No, you want people to stop talking because you just don't want to know the truth, dog. We made one record with you. Money, Power, Respect. It's 10 years later, and you still got half of our publishing. Now, there's no way you can make it justifiable that you said you deserve half of our publishing.
To my face. We just at the concert. You ain't saying nothing.
What are we gonna do? Saying it to your face? Get sued? What do you want us to do? We can't touch. We can't be violent or none of that. We can't even have
saying all this, dog.
They also made a memorable impact on Last Day from the notorious B.I.G.'s Life After Death, helping build a reputation as one of the most respected rap groups of their era. The momentum kept growing. Jadakiss delivered what many fans consider one of his most recognizable verses on Diddy's It's All About the Benjamins, a song that became a massive hit and helped introduce the LOX to a much wider audience. The group later claimed they needed some convincing before joining the record, but once it was released, there was no denying the results. The track exploded in popularity and became one of the defining records of that period.
for them and for me to be saying it like this because they just don't know the business. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. You know how we can stop it though? As grown people, let's talk about the facts. This facts I'm gonna state. You got the checks in front of you. You're reading it.
But I also have a contract that they just sent me that says 50-50.
Yeah, but I'll show you this contract. But you know we do. We're going back and forth.
I know.
At the end of the day, this business is between me and the LOX.
Then, in January 1998, the LOX released their debut album, Money, Power, and Respect. The project made a huge impact, earning platinum certification, selling more than 110,000 copies in its first week and reaching number 3 on the Billboard 200 chart. From the outside, it looked like everything was going perfectly, and many people assumed the group and the label were thriving together. Behind the scenes, however, a different story was beginning to unfold. As their success grew, so did frustrations about the direction of their career. The group reportedly felt that their artistic identity did not fully align with the image and sound they were being associated with at Bad Boy Records.
That lawyer could go and they could play this in a court of law. Why would I set myself up for that? That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is I definitely need to apologize to New York for feeling a little emotional, but you got to understand, working as hard as I've worked to get to this point, and somebody saying that you stole from them, you know what I'm saying? My thing is to always to inspire, you know what I'm saying? And to motivate and to provide opportunities. It was so upsetting because it was like I own 50% of somebody's stuff and it's a lifetime deal. That's not true.
By 1999, those frustrations became impossible to hide. The LOX launched the highly publicized Let the LOX Go campaign, publicly asking to be released from their contract so they could pursue a different path and potentially join Rough Riders. The situation quickly became one of the most talked about disputes in hip-hop. The core issue centered on creative direction. While Bad Boy was known for polished, mainstream-friendly records and high-budget visuals, the LOX wanted to focus more heavily on the gritty, street-oriented style that had built their reputation in the first place. As Sheek Louch explained, we just needed to be with a rougher label, a harder label that fit our image. The group reportedly explored multiple legal options in an attempt to leave the deal, but negotiations dragged on and no immediate resolution was reached.
There's a big sign on it.
The whole National Guard's downstairs, too. Cut it out. They don't get it.
I'm a grown-ass man. You're
a coward.
And I don't take nothing.
You're a thief,
You're a coward.
Don't say you're a thief.
Okay.
You're a
Come to
thief.
the office, man. Come to the office so we can straighten it out there.
Yo, how we just 3 guys you don't even mess with. You had your Ace Boom publishing. You won't let his publishing
I'm
go.
at the office.
You won't let your man's publishing
We're
go.
gonna argue in front of New York. That's the way you want
Do
to
you own your man's publishing go?
Nothing to y'all, man.
With legal efforts failing to produce the outcome they wanted, the LOX decided to take their message directly to the public. In a move that grabbed headlines and sparked major conversation throughout the industry, they appeared at a New York concert wearing Let the LOX Go t-shirts, making their position impossible to ignore. The Let the LOX Go campaign quickly turned into a major movement. What started as a contract dispute began gaining serious public attention, with fans rallying behind the group and spreading the message everywhere they could. The pressure kept building, and the situation became one of the biggest label conflicts in hip-hop at the time. As the standoff continued, reports from those involved suggest that tensions between the LOX and Bad Boy were reaching a breaking point.
They never had a conversation. They never.
It's so hard to do this interview because it's so the stories are so conflicting.
But there's one story. If I'm bringing canceled checks, I can't do no more than that. They came up here and they made y'all believe that they don't want to rap no more because. But this is a fake. You're not even acknowledging this is what they do. Free the LOX 1. Free the LOX Part 2 with Interscope. Hey, that worked. Jimmy got on the phone. Let's go after Puff. Let's see if this worked. It definitely worked because they hit a nerve, and it's not really like me, but it's just like this station right here is a very strong station, and it's a very strong accusation of stealing from somebody.
According to stories later shared by members of the group, emotions were running high during meetings and discussions about their future. In a widely discussed Hip Hop DX interview years later, Jadakiss recalled an incident in which Styles P allegedly threw a chair during a heated confrontation involving Diddy. The story became one of the most talked about moments connected to the dispute. Whether it was the growing public support, the ongoing negotiations, or the increasing pressure surrounding the situation, the conflict eventually moved toward a resolution. The combination of fan backing and the group's determination helped keep attention on their push to leave the label. Looking back, Styles P believed the battle had a bigger impact than many people realized at the time. He said, "We really changed the game by doing that. It might take years from now, but other people are going to do it. We made it so they don't have to be scared to speak up." His comments reflected the group's belief that artists should feel comfortable voicing concerns about their careers and business arrangements.
The publishing that you do have, it obviously means a lot to them. Would you be willing to sell them back or give them back their publishing? How, is there any way that could happen?
I'm gonna say number one, they never had a discussion and never gave me an offer to buy it back. That's number one. Number two is they say that they're the streets. If you go and you get some consignment for 5 of them things from Poppy, and then you go to Poppy and say, "Nah, I just don't want to give it back." You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. If he invested in you and invested in your dream to come up and he gave you 5 of them things.
Once the LOX finally parted ways with Bad Boy, they found a new home that they felt was a stronger fit for their style and identity. Rough Riders, the powerhouse label associated with DMX, brought a tougher, more street-focused image that matched what the group had been aiming for all along. The partnership clicked almost immediately. With Rough Riders behind them, the LOX moved into a new chapter of their career and laid the foundation for their celebrated second album, We Are the Streets. But even after the contract dispute was behind them, the story wasn't completely over. The tension and lingering feelings from the Bad Boy era would continue to spark conversations for years to come. Even after joining Rough Riders, the LOX made it clear they had not forgotten the frustrations from their Bad Boy years. In backstage footage from the early Rough Riders tour, the group was seen poking fun at some of the flashy fashion and image choices that had become associated with the Bad Boy era. Their comments reflected just how different they felt their own identity was from the polished, mainstream style they believed had been pushed on them. The criticism didn't stop there. Over the years, the LOX also took shots at their former label situation through interviews and lyrics, making it clear that lingering business issues were still bothering them long after they had left Bad Boy Records. The biggest moment came during their highly discussed appearance on Angie Martinez's radio show in November 2005. During the conversation, members of the LOX spoke openly about ongoing disputes involving publishing rights and their experiences following their departure from the label. They claimed that significant business matters had still not been fully resolved, despite nearly a decade having passed since they left. Then the situation took an unexpected turn when Diddy called into the show himself. What followed was a tense and unforgettable exchange that quickly became one of the most talked about radio moments in hip-hop history. Emotions ran high, accusations flew back and forth, and listeners were glued to every second of the conversation. According to the group's account, progress finally came not long after that public confrontation. About a month later, Styles P told Angie Martinez that Diddy had returned their publishing rights, bringing an end to one of the longest-running disputes connected to the group's Bad Boy chapter. No matter how people view the conflict, one thing is hard to deny. The LOX turned adversity into motivation and continued building a legendary career. Their success after leaving Bad Boy helped cement Jadakiss, Styles P, and Sheek Louch as respected figures in hip-hop with a legacy that extends far beyond any label dispute. Fans still debate the entire saga to this day. One fan wrote, "The LOX were emboldened to call Diddy out years ago. They made some bangers too. Glad they moved on to Rough Rider." Another commented, "Look how time reveals all." Now it's your turn. What do you think about the long-running conflict between the LOX and Diddy? Were the LOX justified in pushing back the way they did, or could things have been handled differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with other hip-hop fans. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.